Yo, Kingearner coming to y'all live and direct. Got some honorable news for y'all today. Because that's what we're going to start calling this, man. The honorable news for the youth to grasp and don't do none of what I'm speaking of. If it seems like it's a glorification, it's never glorified. It's nothing that I honor in reference to being hype about children dealing with the streets. But I'm love for them to hear these stories and get an understanding that they are a truth, no matter if they was on television or not. A lot of shows that was on TV deceived the children. So what I'm doing basically here with this urban story here is breaking it down for the youngins so they can get an understanding of not to go in that direction. Now, at the end of the day, AZ Fazion, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce that. Faison, whatever his name is, the rat, was an individual who was totally against guys like Rich. Totally against guys like Alpo. That's why in the movie, you kind of give you a little bit of the truth, but it's not. And I'm getting this from Harlem individuals. I ain't just getting this. And need be, if it get dumb to the point where it's though it's like, damn, I got to bring this person forward, I will. But I'm not going to do that. The reason why I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to cause confusion. And the person don't have no problem with coming forward. But AZ is so much of a rat, right? That the brother was telling me that he'd get into a situation with one of Rich Porter's baby moms, right? And when he get in that situation, somebody around her, right, cutting in his head somewhere, he tell the police, and the police lock her up for it and cuff and stuff her in Rikers Island. But when she go up in front of the judge like, hold on for a second. Why did y'all arrest her? The district attorney steps up and say, main man was a rat, that he's a confidential informant. We didn't want nothing happening to him, blah, 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 blah. Now, what bothers me the most is a lot of our youth will forget certain things. Like they'll forget when they go to jail that they're supposed to be honored and taken care of if they're part of the streets, especially if they're part of any type of gangs or mafioso type organizations. You see what I'm saying? They're supposed to be looked out for. They're supposed to be comfortable. That don't happen in the streets. Just take a look at how AZ is performing after Rich Porter's gone. Number one, he dealt with his system, from what I'm hearing. That was one of the main reasons why Rich and him didn't get along, because of the way he treated his sister. I can't say how he treated his sister. I wasn't there. But what I can say is the fact that that's 2 times that I heard something different. The first time was about AZ being with the 13-year-old girl inside them apartments or that project when he got killed. When he supposedly got killed, his soul left his body and came back. When them bulls robbed him, when them suckers robbed him. And the second thing is this, what I just said about him having one of Rich Porter's baby moms locked up, all because some dude done that was around her. Now, the boy ain't giving me all the information of who dude was, what's his name. I ain't here from that. I'm here to point out to the youngins that times have changed. This era, if you go to jail, your family is going to be the ones that is going to be there front and center. Mainly the women are your family. You know what I mean? If you got a tight-knit male family in your family, then you know y'all probably had that support. But if you don't, the women is usually stepping forward. I know that's who stepped forward for me was my grandmother. Now, what we have to get the understanding it is that's a flaw, another dishonor from the streets. The reason why that's another dishonor from the streets is because at the end of the day, no one is supposed to go without being fed. So the story I heard in reference to, I heard 2 stories. I got 2 different stories. The one that's close, I believe them more than anything, and that's that AZ got 50 grand. The other one told me that he was given a car, BMW or something like that. Now, This is what was given. I ain't mentioning no one else outside of that because even the actors, they don't got nothing to do with this. I'm only mentioning AZ, Rich Porter, and Alpo. I can't speak on nothing that's outside of that because the people aren't giving me that neither. You see what I'm saying? But I need the youngins to pay attention. You mean to tell me for your big homie, you running around in the streets hustling, getting all this money, and you go to jail, and your big homie don't bail you out? I mean, where's the honor in that? And that's where the streets is weak. The bridge of the streets is like, you can't walk across that bridge. If you walked across that bridge, I promise you, more than anything, it's going to fall. It's going to be weak. You're going to be holding on because there's no strength out there. And everybody is pretending like they have money. So when people go to jail and they be really ignoring the baby mothers and ignoring the mothers and the grandmothers and the aunts of people or their friends that's locked up, they're only doing it because they're broke. They don't have it anymore. You see where I'm coming from? Then you have individuals that are getting jail and make all the excuses in the world for their friends that's out here on the streets that they ran with and say, man, I'm saying I done my own crime, man. I do my own time, man. But you know at one time or another, you sent that friend money in jail. You just exclude yourself and don't send yourself anything? Don't you count yourself out of the honor? Like you don't want anything? Where's the honor in that at? So my mindset is this from this point on for the youth. If you get in trouble and that trouble isn't a part of the streets, no one has to get you out of jail from the streets. But if it is, without a question of a doubt, everything should be paid for if you're running around here selling drugs for someone. Now take that same vision. You got a job, right? Let's say you got a job, you working. They got a lawyer that's head of the whole corporation, that lawyers, like a lawyer for a law firm, that'll take cases on for people that's has this job, and you taking it's coming out of your check. You get locked up, something happened, and you ain't even in the streets, and you get locked up, something happened. Guess what? They're gonna give you that lawyer. That job, 9 times out of 10, will give you that lawyer. I even seen cases, even when they couldn't come back to court, come back to that job, they still paid, the lawyer still was paid. They just couldn't come back to the job if they lost the case. Because some felons can't be in certain jobs. But I've seen in other jobs where you can have a felon where they backed you with 199%. You see what I'm saying? But you can't even get that from the streets in these terms. How is that? You know what I'm saying? Streets. Let's say you ride down the street in your car, you get into an accident, you don't have insurance on your car. Guess what? You just was in an accident. You got to come out your pocket. Ain't none of your homies or nobody gonna say, damn, man, I saw that accident, man, hey, man, take care of that. Nah. But guess what? If you got a job and you're doing the right thing, that insurance is going to pay for that. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. It's going to pay for that. And the reason why I went there with it is because it will pay for your injuries. The streets won't pay for anything. If you got a 9 to 5, every week out of your check, they take money out of it. That money probably goes to either one of the 3 things: child support, student loan, health insurance. Bottom line, I know this from me. I'm older now, but, I started working and I have a job now. So it's like a mindset of you got to get into the groove, man. It's a wave, man, and we got to catch it because a lot of us is still loving those friends that won't even go by our parents' house and even say, hi, aunt, hi, mom, or, I call out of my friends' mom's mom, or hi, Miss So-and-so, hug. I'm broke, but I come through to check on you. You need anything from the store and stuff like that? They're not going to do that. Ask your elder grandmother that when you was in jail, did anybody come knock on her door and ask her that she needed any cold water? That's what I do for my friends. I make sure, because a lot of times, on the flip side of it, a dude that's not in the streets anymore, I don't have a whole lot of money to send to the penitentiaries. I don't. I have enough for me and my family to survive, and anything after that I can show love. But I never as a man have ever in my life took time out to honor anything else other than what needs to be honored when it comes down to those who are surrounding me. You see? See, because you got dudes know what they'll do, right? They'll honor everything that got to do with that's not around them, but they will not, I repeat, they won't honor the people that's around them. Why is that? I know there's plenty of parents that's going to watch this video and going to say, damn, Kingearner is correct. A lot of people were swaying away a little bit in reference to the stories they're hearing me tell about the rappers portraying certain images and guys like actors, like how Cameron was Outpost, you know, that type of stuff. A lot of people don't like it because they don't understand why I have to mention these guys. Well, these guys are your child's role model. Bottom line, you know, and I'm totally against people looking at things and saying, oh man, that movie that's going to cause so-and-so and them problems. They're not going to be able to function right. They're going to go to jail. No, that's not true. If you raise your children up, letting them know the good and the bad, you don't have to present it in a negative way, but you can let them know the good and the bad. And that's what I'm doing. I'm letting them know the good and the bad, but I'm allowing them to know the bad of the streets, and there's no good in it. It's like nothing's good. Let's give a guy a year run. I guarantee you within that year run, he probably will make more money for his plug than he'll make for himself. You know why? That's how it's designed. And guess what? The plug is still upset because he got to get it from somebody. When you see them locking up these big drug lords and stuff like that, let me give you an understanding. When they locking them dudes up, man, it's not a thing like they're locking them up based off of just locking them up and nothing's going to happen. No, they're seizing drugs from them. They're seizing money from them. So it's going to take the next person who's in charge to charge everybody everything. They're going to have to charge them a lot. And my thing is this. This is my thing. How in the world do you earn money on a product that doesn't move rapidly anyway? You can sell sodas on a corner and waters on a corner and make more money than a drug dealer. You know why? What you paying doesn't cost nothing. And if you approach it right and you sell it correctly, you will sell a lot of it. And if you put your money up, you'll notice that 5, 10, 20 years from now, you kept that money. Unless you got somebody here who calling in on you and say you ain't paying taxes. And that's why the EIN number must come in play. Listen, youngins, all right, we talked about the how AZ's a piece of doo-doo. We talked about that. We talked about how he played like he was the biggest guy in the world and he had all the money. He was throwing it around and nobody couldn't tell him nothing, right? He had all the answers. We talked about how honorable Rich Porter was because Rich Porter wasn't a violent individual. If you look up his record, he only had 1 drug possession and 1 gun charge. I'm pretty sure everybody understands that you got to protect yourself if you're selling drugs, right? Correct. So at the end of the day, the Rich was the most honorable out of them all. Everything about him was super thorough. But these guys trying to mimic him caused the jealousy in them that he never saw coming. He never seen it coming. And likewise in the streets, there's a lot of youngins don't even know they homie don't love them. A lot of them, man. And I'm going to tell you this, it's more in the white race than it is in the black race. You know why? They're always competing about something because there are, a lot of them are, raised into money. The rich white folks, they was raised into that money. So when you're raised into something, it's a difference. So they always going to be compete because their main goal is my parent had more than yours. Your parent had more than mine. Nah, my parent this, my parent that. Us coming up, I don't see where the jealousy come at because even if we was on a middle class tip, we was cool. We didn't have to compete. It was always, ooh, them shells, nice, man. Them Jones look good. Okay, you killing them with the low shirt. All love. But money Movies like Paid in Full show you. It actually shows you the vision of it. It shows you. It gives it to you. It gives you the street in its rawest form. So I gotta say, Dame Dash done a hell of a thing. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, Dame could have looked out for Rich Porter and them folks. Nah. You know why I say that? Dame Dash wasn't his right-hand man. How was he in the wrong for not doing nothing? No. AZ claimed he was his right-hand man. I challenge AZ. I challenge him to go and give, at the end of the day, give $5 grand to each one of Rich Porter's child or cousin or mom, grandma, whoever's around. Do something. I challenge him in that. And I challenge all us quote-unquote street niggas to that. The reason why I look at y'all and I ask, why y'all not on point? Because y'all got tax-free money, so why y'all ain't giving it away? And if IAZ was this much of a so thorough individual, why did he not make sure he look out? Even if he look out tomorrow, it's like, why somebody had to say something? And why is all of New York so quiet about this? And now, don't get me wrong, I understand the dudes that's in the streets, that's on the mindset of, you know, I'm on the tip like, I don't care, you know, and they really want to keep it quiet. I understand that. I respect that to the dudes that's in the streets. But certain things with certain type of individuals, you already know nothing ain't going to happen anyway. You already honestly know that, guess what? You ain't going to be getting no further than what you already are. So why even attack situations that don't have no reasoning for attack? We got to start bringing the youngers around something positive and letting him see that. If he make a mistake and go to jail. If he makes a mistake and go to jail, you go and belly him out, and you're not even a part of the streets. If he makes a mistake and he does something that's wrong, and you know that you can chastise it or check it, you go to that person and chastise it or check it. If you don't, you lose your honor, just like that. My thing is that Rich Porter, AZ, Alpo are prime examples of 3 black men growing up in society and not making the right choices and things going wrong for them. All 3 of them could have been something better and different. And I'm pretty sure if they would have, with the mentality they had in the streets, they would have been billionaires. You see? You had individuals like Dame, who was probably in the streets, but he took his mindset and he done something positive with it. Me at my age, what I'm doing is for a lot of the guilt I got in me, you know what I'm saying? For the things I've done wrong, although I took them to the rug, they may bother me still, you see? It beats and it's more honorable than a person who is bothered by those things that go and say, I'm going to bring everybody else into this. You can't bring everybody else into your nonsense. You can't bring everybody else into your mess. You know why you can't bring everybody into your nonsense, into your mess? Because at the end of the day, you started it. But those that's a part of your group of the streets, they should be able to always help you at an all-time high. They should be able to do this. If they can't, they're not your friends. And I'm telling everybody today, right now, honor your life, man. Stop following people. Don't follow nobody. Kingearner live and direct.